You know what makes me absolutely furious? WWE just threw away decades of storytelling, character development, and fan investment in one catastrophic move. And the worst part, they don't even realize what they've done. While you were sleeping, WWE made a decision so monumentally stupid that it's going to change everything we thought we knew about professional wrestling. And if you're not angry about this yet, you will be in the next few minutes. Because what they just exposed isn't just a mistake, it's a betrayal of everything they've built since the Attitude Era. Let me break down exactly how WWE just burned their own house down and why this affects every single one of us watching. 4 years, no, 4 decades, WWE has operated on one fundamental principle: protect the business. Kayfabe might be dead in the traditional sense, but there's always been an unspoken agreement between WWE and its audience. We know it's scripted, they know we know, but we all play along because that's what makes wrestling magical. It's the suspension of disbelief that turns grown adults into screaming fans when their favorite superstar hits their finisher. But WWE just shattered that agreement into a million pieces. Here's what happened, and pay close attention because this is where it gets insane. WWE recently made production decisions and creative choices that have completely exposed the mechanics behind their storytelling in ways that even the most cynical insider would never dare to do. They've pulled back the curtain so far that there's no curtain left. And I'm not talking about wrestlers breaking character on social media or documentary footage showing how matches are planned. No, this goes way deeper. Think about how much effort WWE has put into building larger-than-life characters over the years. The Undertaker wasn't just Mark Calloway in spooky makeup, he was a supernatural force that defied logic and reality. When you watched The Undertaker, you believed. Stone Cold wasn't just Steve Williams, he was the embodiment of anti-authority rebel lion that spoke to millions of frustrated fans. John Cena became the superhero that kids looked up to, regardless of whether adult fans booed him or not. Quick question for you: who was your larger-than-life wrestler growing up? Drop their name in the comments right now. These characters worked because WWE committed to them completely. The production, the commentary, the storylines, everything reinforced the illusion. And that illusion is what made wrestling a billion-dollar industry. But now, WWE has started treating their own product like a behind-the-scenes YouTube channel. They are exposing production tricks in real time during broadcasts. They are having commentators openly discuss creative decisions as they are happening. They are acknowledging the scripted nature of segments in ways that completely deflate the drama they are trying to create. Let me give you a concrete example that should infuriate every wrestling fan watching this. During recent broadcasts, WWE has started using camera angles and production techniques that actively remind you that you're watching a TV show. Cameras catching other cameras in frame. Awkward cuts that show wrestlers clearly waiting for their cue. Commentary that references moments and storytelling instead of treating the conflict as real. It's like watching a magic show where the Magikian stops mid-trick to explain how the illusion works, then expects you to still be amazed when he pulls the rabbit out of the hat. IT doesn't work that way. And here's the part that should terrify every WWE fan: this isn't just about production mistakes or sloppy editing. This represents a fundamental shift in how WWE views its own product. They are treating wrestling like a reality show where the artifice is part of the entertainment, rather than something to be protected. You want to know why this matters? Because it undermines everything. When Roman Reigns stands in that ring and declares himself the tribal chief, commanding the respect of his family and demanding our acknowledgement, that moment only works if we can invest in the gravitas of what he's saying. But if WWE's own production is constantly winking at the audience and reminding us, hey, this is all scripted, then how can Roman's character carry the weight it needs to carry? When Cody Rhodes talks about finishing his story and honoring his father's legacy, that emotional journey only resonates if we can buy into the stakes. But if WWE keeps exposing the machinery behind the storytelling, those stakes evaporate. It becomes impossible to care. Here's another question: do you think exposing the business helps or hurts WWE? Be honest in the comments. Let's talk about what this means for the future of wrestling, because it gets even worse. WWE has spent the last several years building what they call sports entertainment into a legitimate mainstream product. They've got Netflix deals, premium live events, celebrity appearances, and crossover appeal that would have been unthinkable 20 years ago. They've worked incredibly hard to make wrestling acceptable to the masses again. But by exposing their own business practices and constantly breaking the fourth wall, they are turning their product into something that can't be taken seriously even within its own fictional universe. How can they expect mainstream audiences to invest in their stories when they won't even commit to those stories themselves? It's like if Marvel suddenly started having Iron Man look at the camera during Endgame and say, well, this next scene is really just here for the toy sales. It would ruin everything. The emotional investment would disappear instantly. And don't even get me started on how this affects the wrestlers themselves. These performers dedicate their entire lives to this craft. They train 4 years, sacrifice their bodies, work through injuries, and spend months away from their families to entertain us. They put everything they have into creating believable characters and compelling storylines. And then WWE's production and creative decisions undermine all of that hard work by constantly exposing the artifice. Imagine being someone like Gunther, who's built this incredible character as a dominant, no-nonsense competitor who treats wrestling as a serious sport. He carries himself with legitimacy and intensity. His matches feel important. And then WWE's production choices or creative decisions completely undercut that presentation by reminding everyone it's all a work. It's disrespectful to the performers, and it's disrespectful to the audience who chooses to invest their time and money into this product. Now, some of you might be thinking, everyone already knows wrestling is scripted, so what's the big deal? And that's exactly the attitude that's going to kill this business. Yes, we all know it's predetermined. But the art of professional wrestling has always been in making us forget that fact for a few hours. It's in creating moments so compelling, so emotionally resonant, that our logical brains shut off and we just feel. Think about the greatest moments in wrestling history. Mankind winning the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Stone Cold passing out rather than tapping to Bret Hart. Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship win. These moments work because everyone involved, the wrestlers, the production team, the commentators, committed fully to treating them as real, important events. What's your favorite wrestling moment of all time? Comment below and let's see if we remember the same classics. If WWE had approached those moments with the same self-aware, constantly breaking the fourth wall attitude they have now, they would have fallen completely flat. They worked because everyone involved understood the assignment, make the audience believe, even if just for a moment. But WWE seems to have forgotten this fundamental lesson. Or worse, they've decided it doesn't matter anymore. And that's what makes this so dangerous. Because once you train your audience to view everything through a lens of this is fake and we all know it, you can never put that genie back in the bottle. You can't suddenly create a serious, emotionally compelling storyline and expect people to invest when you've spent months or years conditioning them to see everything as a self-aware joke. The really frustrating part is that WWE has all the tools to be better than this. They have the most talented roster in wrestling history. They have unlimited resources. They have the best production equipment money can buy. They have everything they need to create the most compelling wrestling product ever made. Instead, they are choosing to expose their own business, undermine their own storytelling, and train their audience not to take anything seriously. And you know what the worst part is? By the time WWE realizes what they've done, it might be too late to fix it. You can't rebuild decades of mystique and credibility overnight. Once you've exposed the magic trick, getting people to believe in magic again becomes exponentially harder. Closing. So yeah, I'm angry about this. I'm angry because I love professional wrestling, and I'm watching one of the biggest companies in the industry actively sabotage their own product. I'm angry because the wrestlers deserve better, the fans deserve better, and the business itself deserves better than this short-sighted, self-destructive approach. WWE just exposed everything they've built, and the consequences of that decision are going to echo for years to come. The question now is whether they'll wake up and realize what they've done before it's too late, or whether they'll keep pulling back the curtain until there's nothing left to see. What do you think WWE needs to do to fix this disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this video made you as angry as I am, smash that share button and let's get WWE's attention, because maybe, just maybe, if enough of us speak up, they'll realize what they are throwing away.